Welcome to Expronica and welcome to my 10th video. Yes, this is my 10th video and it is a kind of a milestone for me because I have never been this much consistent in my life, and to celebrate this milestone I have a special book, and that is debut novel from a Prajakta Kohli, who is known as a mostly sane, Too Good to Be True. Before we talk about this book, I want to tell you something, that after reading Franz Kafka's Metamorphosis, I needed something very light-hearted, and this novel landed in my hand at an exact time. After reading this romance novel, I just realized that in last so many years, I haven't read English romance novels. लास्ट मैंने रोमांस नॉवेल्स पढ़ी थी इन माई लास्ट सेमेस्टर ऑफ माई इंजीनियरिंग. दोज बुक्स वेयर Walk to Remember and a Notebook. I think both are written by Nicholas Sparks. I still remember it clearly. मेरे रूममेट्स ने वो बुक्स लाइब्रेरी से लेके आई थी वो, एंड मेरी पीएल्स चल रही थी, एंड आफ्टर स्टडीइंग मेरे पास करने के लिए कुछ भी नहीं था क्योंकि मेरे पास उस वक्त अनलिमिटेड इंटरनेट कनेक्शन नहीं था. आफ्टर सो मेनी ईयर्स आई रेड दिस बुक, एंड आफ्टर रीडिंग दिस बुक मुझे ये एहसास हुआ कि आई नीड टू रीड मोर फिक्शन, क्योंकि इन मीन वाइल मेरे लाइफ में इतना कुछ इन अ रोमांस पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू मेरे लाइफ में इतना कुछ हैपनिंग था कि मुझे रोमांस नॉवल पढ़ने की ज़रूरत नहीं पड़ी. और आई मीन टू से उसमें सब कुछ था, ड्रामा, हॉरर, सस्पेंस, एक्शन, एवरीथिंग. सो एट दैट टाइम आई वॉज मोर ग्रेविटेटेड टूवर्ड्स अ सेल्फ हेल्प बुक, क्योंकि मुझे उसकी सबसे ज़्यादा ज़रूरत थी टू नेविगेट माई लाइफ. सो मीन वाइल आई रेड सो मेनी नॉन फिक्शन बुक्स, और फिक्शन तो मैंने कम्प्लीटली छोड़ ही दिया था. व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट टू गुड टू बी ट्रू, आई वांट टू टेल यू दैट दिस बुक इज़ अ डेब्यू नॉवेल ऑफ अ प्राजक्ता कोहली, who is known as a mostly sane on internet. We all know that she is a big content creator, but I want to tell you that I am making this video I am giving this review from a point of view of a reader. क्योंकि पिछले 2 दिन में मैंने ये realize किया, there are so many reels talking about this video, and there are two kinds of people. One who are like completely fan of her and they are talking about this novel and all, and there is other section of people, they are there just to criticize her. So this video is completely from a point of view of a reader. I am not here to criticize her, I am not here to hype her. I am just here to share my experience, how I felt after reading this book. And I am not consistent viewer of Prajakta Kohli because जब वो YouTube पे comedy sketches बनाती थी, I used to watch that, but after that she has done few movies and web series also, and I haven't watched any single episode of that. Okay, so let's move to the Too Good to Be True, and I will tell you 5 points about this book and you decide if you want to read it or not. But if you want to buy this book, link is in the description, it's my affiliated link. First point is, this book is readable, and what I mean by readable is that whenever we are reading any fiction, while we read each and every word, there should play a parallel movie which is created from that text. I mean readable in that way, because जब भी हम कोई फिक्शन पढ़ रहे हैं तो उस वक्त रीडर के दिमाग में वो मूवी चलनी चाहिए, वो एनिमेशन, वो इमेजिनरी वर्ल्ड क्रिएट होना चाहिए. एंड आफ्टर रीडिंग फर्स्ट फ्यू पेजेस आई रियलाइज दैट दिस बुक इज क्रिएटिंग अमेजिंग वर्ल्ड इन माई इमेजिनरी स्पेस. And in that sense, I am saying that this book is a readable book. You will enjoy reading it. Second point about this book is vulnerability of Avni. Avni is a main character of this book, and the way writer has captured her vulnerable side, her insecure side is pretty remarkable. This book again highlights my favorite topic, and that is, if your relationship in your home, in your family, in your blood relationships are broken, then you will struggle a lot in outer world to build new relationships. And I have been through that, and that's why I felt only so much relatable. This book again highlights that it is very important to improve our relationship with ourselves before we create new relationships in our life. One more point is, Avni is pretty scared of a confrontation, and I can totally relate to it because मैं in real life whenever ऐसी situation हो जाती है कि like सामने वाले का opinion मेरे से different है and I need to assert myself, और यहाँ पे कुछ वाद विवाद like normal भी हो सकता है, I panic. मेरी सारी एंग्जाइटी बाहर निकल के आती है एंड आई माई माइंड इज लाइक टेलिंग मी टू एस्केप फ्रॉम दिस सिचुएशन, लाइक आई रन अवे फ्रॉम दिस काइंड ऑफ सिचुएशन एंड दैट्स वाई आई कैनॉट फेस there are so many peoples in my life that to whom I cannot face, because I know that they are going to argue with me, and at that point I will not be able to stand for myself and I will again insult myself and I will carry that pity with me, and I don't want to that anymore, and that's why I avoid those peoples, because I hate confrontations, because again it's a childhood trauma. Whenever life doesn't go according to your terms, you have to handle that situation very gracefully and very intelligently. But चाइल्डहुड से हमें ये सिखाया गया है कि अगर आपकी लाइफ आपके हिसाब से नहीं जा रही है देन यू आर हेल्ड रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर इट, क्योंकि आप में ही कुछ कमी है इसलिए आपकी लाइफ ऐसी है. It is not about situation, external factors at all. Everything is blamed on you. And that's why I hate confrontations, and I can totally relate with the Avni, the way she panics in confrontations. Third point about this book is romance from the point of view of a woman, because again all the romance we read and we watch is mainly from a point of view of a male, because in majority of the cases writer, director, cinematographer, editors are male, right? The way Avni romanticizes about Aman is so relatable, and the language used is well balanced. It's a witty, little bit humorous, quirky, flirtatious, all in one, and I feel that so relatable, so enjoyable. And finally किसी ने तो woman point of view दिया उस romantic चीज़ को, the way women get attracted towards male. Fourth point about this book is relatability. I will tell you what are the things I relate with. I relate with Avni, her insecurity, her vulnerability. Then second point, this story starts in a bookstore. The way Avni founds Aman in a bookstore is actually a fantasy world of every book loving girl, क्योंकि उसने मुझे ना वो नॉस्टैल्जिक दिन याद दिलाए. सो इसलिए दिस बुक हैज़ अ वेरी ग्रेट नॉस्टैल्जिक वैल्यू फॉर मी. आई लिव इन पुणे and few years back I used to live in a model colony, and at सेनापति बापट रोड विच इज़ SB रोड, जहाँ पे JW मैरिट होटल है, उसके बाजू में अब शायद एक नया मॉल हुआ है. उसके बाजू में एक बिल्डिंग में 2 फ्लोर का क्रॉसवर्ड था, और वहाँ पे मैं बहुत बार जाते थे क्योंकि मेरे घर से वो बहुत पास था, एंड वहाँ पे बहुत कम भीड़ रहती थी. उस बुक स्टोर में जगह जगह पे ऐसे स्टूल्स थे जहाँ पे लोग आते थे, बुक लेते थे और पढ़ते रहते थे, एंड आई रियली लव द वाइब ऑफ दैट बुक स्टोर. अब वो क्रॉसवर्ड बंद हो चुका है, एंड आई हैव बीन टू सो मेनी अदर क्रॉसवर्ड शॉप्स, बट जो वाइब उस बुक स्टोर में थी वो मुझे कभी कहीं नहीं मिली. एंड जब मैं वहाँ पे जाती थी आई वॉज सिंगल एट दैट टाइम, क्योंकि आई वॉज गोइंग थ्रू अ ब्रेकअप. उस वक्त जो मेरा बॉयफ्रेंड था उसके साथ मेरा ब्रेकअप हो चुका है, अब वो बॉयफ्रेंड मेरा हस्बैंड है. एंड तब ना मैं ऐसे सोचती थी कि आई विल स्पेंड लॉट ऑफ टाइम इन दिस बुक स्टोर, और इस बुक स्टोर में मुझे कुछ ऐसा टॉल, रिच एंड हैंडसम लड़का मिलेगा, एंड we will have a affair and then we will get married. All these kind of fantasies used to run in my head whenever I used to visit that bookstore, क्योंकि okay, then model colony is a rich area, वहाँ पे लोग बंगलों में रहते हैं. आई यूज टू थिंक दैट अगर मुझे बुक स्टोर में कोई मिलेगा तो डेफिनेटली वो बंदा अच्छा होगा, बुक पढ़ने वाले लोग अच्छे होते हैं. अगेन द डेली सो मैं ऐसे सोचती थी कि उस बुक स्टोर में मुझे कोई मिलेगा. सो अगेन द सेम फैंटेसी Avni have, and that's why this book is pretty much relatable. Another point is that the way Avni has described home libraries at Aman's house. Oh my god, that's my dream, to have floor to floor bookshelf, room filled with the books, then cozy corner to sit and read books. There will be one coffee machine. Exactly, it's my dream room to have in my home, and Avni has described the same thing. So that's why this is 10 on 10 relatable book for me. Fifth point about this book is this too good to be true? Because anyway, I loved the plot of this book, I loved the story, I loved the vibe, I loved the front book cover of this book. I loved everything. But when it comes to the characterization of Aman, I felt like, is it too good to be true? But again I got reminded that this is fiction, and इस बुक का नाम तो यही है, टू गुड टू बी ट्रू. सो आई कैन नॉट criticize that point of view, but definitely at some point it feels like it is too good to be true. लाइक अगेन अवनी के साथ उसके जो फ्रेंड्स हैं उनका जो कॉन्वर्सेशन है, उनका जो रिलेशनशिप है, दैट इज़ ऑल्सो टू गुड टू बी ट्रू, बिकॉज इतने परफेक्ट फ्रेंड्स तो आई डोंट नो किसके होते हैं. सो एट दैट पॉइंट ऑल्सो आई फेल्ट लाइक इट इज़ टू गुड टू बी ट्रू, बट इट इज़ अगेन अ fiction, and fiction has to go at some extreme, right? So again it goes to the good extreme. It is so I enjoyed it a lot. In conclusion, for a first time writer, Prajakta Koli has done remarkable job. At some point I felt like I am reading a script of a K-drama, because in K-dramas also they show the plot which is too good to be true, like typical very rich boy and a very middle class or lower middle class girl, and they fall in love. It's a typical plot, but I enjoy reading this because I needed that breath of a fresh air after reading Kafka's work. So I definitely enjoyed it. At one point I can say that flip side of this book is depth of characters and depth of situation. You know, at that point she little bit missed, but otherwise I enjoyed it. I want to reread this book again, but at that time I will make sure that I am sitting in the hills in a cozy room with coffee and a croissant on my table, and I would like to read this book for a whole day. One more thing is that so many people ask that is this book beginner friendly, like if you have just started reading, can you read this book? Definitely you can read this book. The language used in this book, which is the English language used in this book, is very easy to understand. And come on, this is a romantic story, and you don't need to know literary meaning of every word. You will easily understand the story, and you will easily understand meaning of sentences. And if you want to buy this book, link is in the description. And if you like this video, please press the like button, subscribe to the channel, share your review if you have read this book. Please comment down your opinions about this book. I would like to read it, and see you very soon. Till then, happy reading. Thank you so much. Bye.